Hello and welcome to Pick a Card Palace. Today's Pick a Card reading is all about your future spouse or committed partner, their personality, and any other details that want to come through. For this reading, we have 5 options. Option 1 is the ring. Option 2 is union. Option 3 is, what is this? Wedding. I'm sorry, it's in a foreign language. I have to think a bit. Option 4 is marriage. And option 5 is ceremony. So once you've made your selection or selections, because if you are drawn to more than one, it is okay to watch more than one, go down to the description box where you will find links taking you directly to each of these readings. I'm going to give you a bit more time to make your selection before we get started. If you need more time, just pause the video. Hello there. Option 1, if you chose the ring, this will be your reading. Again, we are going to find out all about your future spouse or committed partner. So please give us some important details about option 1's future spouse or committed partner. Okay, we have the key and we have the scythe. Okay, so your person, option 1, is what we might call someone who is a bit prickly. They are not the most warm and fuzzy type of person, at least not outwardly to other people. To you, in your intimate times together, in your intimate space, your private time together, this person will probably be quite a softie, actually. This is someone who looks rough out on the outside, but is not that way on the inside. People who don't know them well or get close to them may not know that they have this kind and supportive and nurturing quality about them, but they do, and you will see that, but the rest of the world will likely see this person who, will say, doesn't suffer fools. This is someone whose speech can be quite cutting, quite inflammatory to some people. In fact, maybe your initial dealings with them will be characterized by this persona that they put forward, this persona of being tough and no nonsense and straight with no chaser. I mean, this is like someone who's very blunt, someone who, well, you don't have to guess how they feel, but they may not have the most wonderful social skills with everybody. I think this is someone who just doesn't care about whether other people generally like them. It's more so that the people who they care about see the other side. They see what's, as I said, softer about this person. And they are a softie, but they don't show that to the rest of the world. You will see that. Okay, so let me, I don't know how I want to arrange things here, so bear with me. I'm going to put that there and this here. And now I'm going to do a lot of shuffling and lay down some cards. So I'm going to put a link in the description box. You can go back down to it and click on the link that'll take you directly to the beginning of this reading, because you may not want to watch the shuffling, and that's fine if you don't. So I'll see you on the other side if you don't want to see the shuffling. Ooh. Hello there, welcome or welcome back. Option 1, now that I've laid all these cards out, we can get back to the reading. So, this person here who is your future spouse or committed partner is a worker. They are quite work-oriented. The type of work that they do, let's see. It looks like it might have something to do with communications, with writing, with teaching, learning, something like that. Now, we talked before I had you to fast forward, if you wanted to the actual reading, well, the rest of the reading. We talked before about how this person has kind of a cutting way of presenting things. And I think that this actually speaks to their, not only their interpersonal style, but specifically how they communicate. And this will spill over into what they do for a living. I could see someone here who maybe is great at editing. This is someone who's got great communication skills. So they're using that some kind of way in their career. Now, the person themselves, again, is very businesslike, no nonsense. This is someone who likes to be in charge. This is someone who maybe finds it fun and relaxing to be in charge is kind of interesting, actually, because I said this person is a softie and on the inside, but as far as what other people on the outside can see, this is someone who is all business. So that's quite interesting, option 1. Now, let me see what else jumps out at me here. This person probably enjoys travel. It could be that they enjoy just going lots of different places in their day-to-day life in their local area. Or it could be that they are one of those people who's always planning a trip off from home, way off from home somewhere, whether that's, another state or region or even country. This person enjoys learning about different people and different places. This person, in fact, is probably quite excited about learning in general. We talked about how they may have a communications related or communications based career or profession or line of work. And the learning and education part is standing out to me some more here. This person may have some responsibilities regarding children. And that could be, again, in their line of work. They might be a teacher of children or a coach or someone who works with children somehow. But as I said, the communications basis makes me think more along the lines of teaching, education, that kind of thing. Now, as far as this person's home life is concerned, I don't believe this person is someone who easily shares how they feel. They may not be very comfortable with the world of emotions. And so it may appear, like I was saying before, this person comes across to others perhaps as being quite cutting or fierce, at least verbally, communicatively. And I wonder if that's just because, again, the emotional area of this person's psyche or their way of approaching life is rather insular. I was going to say repressed, even perhaps. Let me see what else. I see here, though, that this is someone who will be very committed to you, very committed not only to you, but to the relationship itself. This is someone who values committed partnership, and so they don't want to do anything to make waves or cause any disruptions, have a bunch of, drama or toxicity in any kind of way. They want to avoid all of that and just have a stable, comfortable relationship. And as I said, they're a committed type of person. We already talked about how they're very work oriented. Well, they kind of carry that over into the relationship realm too, which I think is a good thing. That's good news. Now, with regard to their friends and their friend group, again, I'm seeing that you know, this person is not warm and fuzzy, not even with the friends or the friend group. This is someone who might do a lot of joking around with their friends, but it's like the kind of situation or dynamic in which they and their friends just kind of engage in this back and forth of hurling insults at each other, but it's I guess amusing or funny. Like, oh, you know, I'm not really serious. I don't really mean it, but you know, it's harsh stuff. There are people like that, so that seems to be how your person operates in that realm. Option 1. Let me see. So I should mention here, I said something about children earlier, didn't I? If this person has children from a previous relationship, obviously the children are important, and this person pours a lot of energy into their children. So if that is the case, obviously the children are going to be quite prominent. I'm not so much getting the sense of older children, but younger children, which might explain why the person is so involved with them. Now, that won't be the case for all of you. Some of you, this person will not already have children when you encounter them, when you get together with them. In such case, though, I could see that they'll have building a family very much on their mind, that they will want to have kids, very likely. And they will take that responsibility very seriously, and they'll be a very involved parent. Okay, let me see if there's anything else that is jumping out at me here. Okay, if anything else comes to mind, I will mention it, but I want to move on now and just look at something else before we close things out here. So for option 1 and this person who is their future spouse or committed partner, what will be this person's reason for choosing to commit to option 1? Why will this person choose option 1? Okay, we have fear of inadequacy. That there. And we also have irresistibility. Okay, well, that's an interesting combination. Let me see what's on the bottom of the deck here. We have giving. Okay, so option 1, the fear of inadequacy is interesting. We talked about how this person is a worker at heart, a worker by personality. They're very, businesslike. And maybe what drives them is the fear of not being enough, not being good enough. And so they choose you in part because they don't want you to see them as being not good enough. I think they maybe ask you to marry them or to be in a committed partnership with them because they need to prove it to themselves that you are as interested in them and as interested in the commitment as they are. So that's kind of interesting, option 1. But there's also an element here, and this is way more romantic, I think, so we'll get out of their psychological issues here for this. But they choose you because they find you irresistible. They choose you because there's something about you that makes them want to give to you. You know, there's this generosity of spirit that they have uh, because of you, and that certainly differs from how they approach and interact with other people. It looks like very likely. Okay, so I think I'm going to end the reading here, option one. I hope this was interesting and or informative for you. If you enjoyed this reading, please subscribe to this channel or like it. It would help this channel out a great deal. I appreciate it very much. Okay, so thank you for watching. I'm going to move on to the next option now. Hello there, option two. If you chose this card, Union, this will be your reading. But first, I'm going to shuffle and lay down the cards before I actually start talking. So if you don't want to watch this portion, go back to the description box. You'll find a link there taking you to the beginning of the reading part of the reading. Otherwise, though, you can just hang tight while I do this part. Okay, so let's see. Hello, welcome back. Option two, if you chose Union, this will be your reading. We are looking into your future spouse or committed partner. I guess I should call out these cards before I get started, though. I don't think I did that with option 1. Sorry, option 1, if you're still somehow here. Okay, so here we have the dagger, we have the crown, enemies, news, pleasure, despotism, the star of the woman, honors, the table, ruin, family, result, the star of the man, and love. Okay, so option 2. Your future spouse has something that makes them appear to be, or maybe they actually are, a cut above the rest. This is someone who probably gets a good amount of attention. This may be someone that others look up to, maybe someone whose peers just sort of naturally recognize them as a leader, or as someone who's doing things or achieving things that the other people admire and aspire to. And so your person may carry themselves, in this rather elegant or I've already said regal. I was going to say maybe confident way. Yes, this person is quite confident. And the thing about this person is that, yes, they have achieved things. Yes, they are continuing to move toward their goals. The phrase vaulting ambition just came into my mind. So this is someone who's very, very serious about getting ahead in life, getting ahead in their career, or whatever else they are focused on. This person may be somewhat, I don't know, ruthless. But anyway, it's actually quite interesting because that contrasts with some element here of the other cards, because this person is coming through as someone who wants to do for others, someone who wants to help people in general be better, do better, get what they need. I don't know if this is someone who works in any kind of humanitarian field, but they have a kind of humanitarian energy here. Even though I said they're ruthless and cutthroat, you wouldn't necessarily expect those two things to go together, would you? And yet. So it seems that this person, as I said, is really doing whatever it takes to get ahead, and maybe they've had some achievement, but maybe the achievement is somewhat precarious for them. Maybe they work really hard and they get a certain ways. Obviously, they get far enough for other people to look at them, admire them, and maybe even be a little jealous of them. But there's something maybe that they themselves, either they realize that this is not truly altogether fulfilling, maybe because of that side of them, that's the humanitarian, or they recognize that what they have achieved, the success that they've had is fleeting or hard to maintain. It's not really the most solid foundation, or somehow it's not going, I was going to say it's not going anywhere, but this is from your person's perspective. It's yeah, I think that they have this urge to, as I said, help others and maybe fix what's broken. And so being just very self focused, trying to get ahead, just it doesn't it doesn't satisfy ultimately. And so we may be seeing here that your person is either just that they have this duality about them, or that they are at a place, maybe this is when you meet them, when you get involved with them, wherein they are in transition. You know, they want to do something they can feel good about because it truly helps others, even if that something maybe doesn't get them all of the applause and the attention and all of that they might want or prefer, or at least a part of them might want or prefer, or maybe that they're just used to. Now, regarding you, it's interesting that you actually show up here in the reading right here, right across from here. This, I'm taking this card to be your person and this card to be you. And gender here is fluid, so it doesn't matter that, you know, one of these cards is male and the other's female. You know, whatever your situation is, it's working because it's the energy, not the gender. But anyway, it looks like, though, the two of you make a great pair because you balance each other out. You are like two sides of the same coin. You know, you may be more fun loving, whereas they may be more serious. But that's okay because this person probably does need to chill out and relax somewhat, you know. So you give that to them. And again, like I said, the two of you are like natural partners where they're maybe not as accomplished you are, or what they find maybe more difficult you find more easy, and vice versa. So you help each other out. Now, as for this person's friends or friend group, it looks like they appreciate them and they feel like they're more than friends, they're like family. So your person will want to pour into them to some extent. You know, they would be prominent in your person's life. It's likely that they have relied on their friends for support, and or that the friends have relied on your person for support. It's probably both. There's an intimacy here. There's a sense of closeness. These are not casual friends. These are very close friends. The friends that this person has, they tend to be close friends. You know, they may have, you know, acquaintances like most people do. You'll be able to tell pretty clearly who these close friends are. They are prominently here in the picture. Now, as for this person's emotional sensibilities, this person probably is more logical than emotional, but I don't see like a really big problem with emotions, other than that this person may tend to be a bit self-referencing, like they're more likely to uh, be aware of and pay attention to and focus on how things affect them emotionally versus how things affect other people emotionally. Um, I don't see that as being necessarily like a huge problem for you and them, but that is something to keep in mind. And so when it comes to expressing feelings, they can do that, and it looks like they're comfortable enough with it, but it tends to be more so logically based. Like they don't. There's some people who sort of, I don't know if it's that they repress their emotions. It's more like they're able to step away and be detached and look at their feelings as though the feelings are happening to someone else, and so they can run some kind of commentary on the feelings. They can describe the feelings, but they aren't really fully inhabiting the feelings. It's as though, like I said, you're watching a movie and it's happening to someone else. If I hope I'm expressing this in a way you can understand. Uh, so now this person enjoys their social time and their uh, time with you. This is someone who is probably somewhat of a romantic. You might not have guessed that from the other things I'm saying, but there's a romantic streak here. This person probably would enjoy or will enjoy wining and dining you. They themselves, maybe if this is someone who is a cook, and I'm not strongly seeing it, but it's a possibility. If they know how to cook something, they will probably want to cook for you, so that you can spend private time together. When you are spending private time together. I'm sorry, I don't know why I didn't seem to finish that sentence in a way that makes sense. I guess I'm trying to focus on too many things here at once. But yeah, let me see if there's anything else. I think that's about all I'm going to say about this person generally and randomly. So now we're going to, before we close this out, find out why this person is going to choose to commit to you, option 2. So why will this person choose option 2 to commit to? Why will they do that? Okay, we have letting go, and we have lust. Okay, I wasn't expecting that, option 2, but apparently this person thinks you're super hot, or they will think you are super hot, and so one of the reasons that they will want to lock you down is because they want to make sure that they're the only ones getting your attention. We also have at the bottom of the deck here responsiveness. So there's also the sense here that they would choose you because you're choosing them. And remember I said earlier, you're a natural match for each other. It's like you have a tendency or an ability to just sort of meet each other halfway, and it's not really a struggle. You don't have to think too hard or try to figure out what the other person might be wanting or needing. You just kind of somehow, you just, I don't know, you just click, so that there's not really a need for, a lot of explaining to each other. And the letting go is interesting. It could be that your person decides to choose you and commit to you because they want to uh, enter into a new phase in life. They want to leave the old behind. They want to leave the past in the past, and that includes people from their past in the past. And they see a commitment to you as, laying new ground and forging a new path in life. And it sounds like this could probably tie into what I was talking about with this person's career and the prospects there that they see, and how they could be in transition when you meet them or as you are getting to know them. But yeah, okay. So that option 2 is your future spouse or committed partner. I'm going to end it here. So if you enjoyed this reading, found it helpful or interesting in any way, please subscribe to the channel or give this video a thumbs up. It will help my channel and my video in the algorithm. And I thank you in advance. So, all right. I'm going to move on now to the next reading. Well, the next option. Hello there, option 3. If you chose this card, wedding, this will be your reading. Now, I am going to shuffle a lot and lay down a bunch of cards before I get to the talking portion. So if you don't want to see the shuffling, go back to the description box and you'll find a link taking you directly to the beginning of the reading part of this reading. Otherwise, feel free to just chill for a bit here while I put all these cards down. All right. Welcome or welcome back. Option 3, if you chose wedding, this will be your reading. So we are going to find out some things about your future spouse or committed partner in this reading. So before I get started, let me just name all these cards for you in case you're interested. This card is the whip. This is the dog. This is superb. This is love, literary person, grand consolation, melancholy, faithfulness, the lover, the married woman, prison, widower, the letter, and fortune. Okay, so an important thing that is being presented here about your future spouse or committed partner, option 3, is that this is someone who may be a friend or maybe a friend of yours, that maybe you started out as friends. There's something here about friendship and friendliness. So you were very friendly with this person perhaps before you get together, and that may continue to characterize your relationship. Even though it's a romantic relationship, there may be a strong element of this friendship. But don't get me wrong here, there's also a very strong sexual element. So I don't know, option 3, maybe you're getting like the best of both worlds here. Because, you're getting friendship, which is awesome, but you're also getting passion, which is also awesome, certainly if you're going to be in a romantic relationship. So those are some parameters here, some important foundational details about this person who's going to be your future spouse or committed partner. Now, let me see what else. Okay, so we've got here someone who is romantic and dreamy, artistic, sensitive, talented, just a nice person to get close to. This is someone who probably doesn't, how to say? They probably don't have maybe a lot of close friends. They may feel kind of limited by that, actually. And in fact, they may kind of come across, or I'd say maybe they have this image or this reputation for being somewhat of a loner, off to themselves doing their own thing. And I would think maybe that thing that they're doing is something related to, creativity or art or something that they're good at and that they are developing. So I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be something like that's actually artistic, but for a lot of you, it probably will be. And this person here is represented as playing a guitar. So you may be dealing with an actual musician here, even a guitarist, even though that's not going to be the case for all of you. And I already talked about the friendship element here. It could be that they regard you as one of their closest and maybe only friends. But there's this wonderful energy here of support and just having fun with each other, having a good time with each other. But it goes somewhat deeper than that. As I said, this person may regard you as being one of their closest and maybe only friends, but they truly will feel like you have been sent to them from heaven or the universe or whatever, spiritual force they might believe in, because you come into their life and there's some kind of way in which they feel like you heal them. And since we're talking about healing, you're probably, well, heal them like from what? Well, it looks like your person may have some struggles with mental health issues, specifically depression. I don't know if it reaches any kind of clinical level. Maybe for some of you that may be the case, but they will very much appreciate how you're able to help them through the low times, and that you stick by them. I think they will see you, option 3, as being somewhat of their muse as well. If this person is artistically talented, they may create things. For example, as a musician, they may write songs about you, inspired by you. If they're not artistically talented, whatever this talent or skill is that they have developed and are developing, they may find you still as a source of inspiration for doing what they're doing. You help them to keep going, as it were. Yeah, I'm feeling like with the mental health issue, I'm going to just touch on that a bit more again. This could be someone who is uh, someone who seeks to be emotionally balanced, but doesn't always achieve that, or at least not easily. It may not come easily. This may be something, well, I mentioned in the beginning that this is someone who's probably quite sensitive. Uh, so it could be that this person maybe does not engage so much with lots of people, say, in the social or friendship realm, because of that sensitivity, because they need the time alone, or they need a controlled environment, something to that effect. But again, you come in and you are, as some would say, a real blessing in their life. It's like they feel like you, it's almost like, and I don't mean this in any kind of weird or inappropriate way, but it's almost like there's an energy here of you being warm and nurturing, like a mother would be towards their child. And in that scenario, your person is the child. But again, I don't mean that in any kind of bad way or weird way. It's actually very touching. It seems your person will very much appreciate that. Um, option 3. Okay, so I think I'm going to, I don't know if I have a lot more to say here, so I'm going to ask this one final question here in this reading. So for option 3, uh, why will this person be choosing to commit to option 3? What will make this person choose option 3? We have jealousy, which, I was not expecting, but we'll talk about it. We also have never enough. Now, let me see. Let's look at the bottom of the deck here. We have disillusionment. You know, this is interesting because, you know, what's depicted on the image here. I think one of the reasons that your person chooses to commit to you is because they know that you see them for who they are. Even though they may have tried, maybe, or maybe they will try initially to present a face that really isn't authentic because they want you to think they're someone they're not. I'm going to guess it has to do with, you know, the emotional sensitivity, the mental health concerns here. But whatever the case may be, you know, initially they may try to hide that. Maybe that's their tendency. You know, it's not unique to you. That's just how they try to approach the world and cope with their situation. But with you, you're going to see through it. Somehow you're going to be able to see past the facade and not only recognize the truth of who they are, but embrace it. And they will choose you because they appreciate that. They can rest in that. Remember, I talked about in the beginning the friendship element here. Like, there's a real sense of support coming from you and between the two of you. And again, this kind of mother-child energy. This very interesting option 3. But getting back to the jealousy card here, it may be that they, and this I think came up in another option earlier, they choose you because they're worried that you might run off with someone else or see someone else that you like better. Maybe that doesn't come with these issues that they come with, and so they want to you know, put a ring on it, so to speak. Not all of you watching will necessarily, you know, have a formalized marriage with this person. That's why I'm calling this reading your future spouse or committed partner. But the commitment will come in part because your person doesn't want you to get away. They don't want you to be the one that got away. And they recognize, hey, you know, maybe there's other people who option 3 could be with, and it would be easier for them, and maybe just all around, at least from this person's perspective, you know, all around more pleasant to be with someone else. So, again, I'm not saying that it's unpleasant to be with this person. Like I said, I see a lot of warmth and caring and nurturing, and that, you know, there's a lot of beautiful energy here of that. So don't get me wrong there. This is just their perspective, which of course is colored by their quote unquote issues, you know, which they may feel are liabilities in the relationship realm. And they wouldn't be strange or unusual if they did think that. I think that's probably a very natural supposition, you know, in that type of situation. Now, with the never enough, I think this links back to the idea of that we talked about here with the jealousy card, which is that they don't want to go from having someone who is there for them and who accepts them, seeing them warts and all, to being back out there and having to weed through a bunch of people and find someone who would be as much of a catch as you are regarding, again, these emotional concerns, this interpersonal, relational dynamic that exists between you would be a hard thing to find. They recognize that. So I think that overall, even though these cards sound on the face of it, like negative, the motivations of your person, option 3, are actually quite pure. And again, as I said, they're based in their own insecurities about their situation. Okay, so this is who your future spouse or committed partner is, option 3. If you enjoyed this reading, found it helpful in any way, please consider subscribing or liking this video. It would help me and the channel out so much with the algorithm. Thank you for watching. I'm going to move on now to the next option. Hello there, option 4. If you chose this card, marriage, this will be your reading. But first, I'm going to shuffle a lot and put down a lot of cards before I start the reading portion of the reading. So if you don't want to see this part, go back to the description box. You will find a link that will take you directly to the reading portion of this reading. Otherwise, hang with me if you wish. Hello there, option 4. Welcome or welcome back. This will be your reading all about your future spouse or committed partner. Let me name these cards for you in case you're interested before we get started. This card is the Fox. This is the Ring, very appropriate for this reading. This is Occupation, Military, Great Fortune, Odyssey, Murky Thoughts, Change, Wealth, Long Road, Woe, Child, Siren 1, and Endings. Okay, so an important thing about this person is that, and I think we've seen a similar someone in a previous reading here. So if you're coming from one of the previous options, hello again. But this is someone who is a hard-working individual. Uh, they are probably good at accumulating wealth. I don't know if this is literally someone who is wealthy, but they certainly have the capacity to be a good provider or earner. If that is important to you, then congratulations, because that is this person. I also think here, though, that the cards may be indicating that as far as you and this person is concerned, is that maybe you won't realize that they are about to pop the question or commit to you, even though I think it's actually pop the question. I think in this pile, it might be that this is definitely a marriage, a formalized relationship that is recognized by the state, that has the official paperwork, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, you did actually choose the card that is literally marriage. So I guess that makes sense. But we're getting some corroboration here in the other cards for that very idea. So that's why I say this, which is not to say that everyone here necessarily will definitely get formally married to this person. But I think most people for whom this reading will resonate are going to actually, you know, do at least the justice of the peace, if not, well, that's an American thing, but, you know, you're going to at least go get married legally, okay, whatever the laws of your locale are. Okay, so, So I think, yeah, I was just talking about how this person, you know, you're not necessarily going to see it coming when they decide to pop the question. We're going to go with that narrative because, like I said, I think that's the majority here. You will probably be taken by surprise. You aren't going to be expecting that to happen. Maybe you will be a bit confused. I wonder if we'll find out why as this reading goes on. Why you would be confused about this person's interest in formalizing. Maybe, I don't know. One thing that just comes to mind, maybe you will have been with this person in a long time and you will be thinking, you know, formalized marriage is not going to happen. This person doesn't want formalized marriage, and maybe you're okay with no formalized marriage or something to that effect. But that's just one scenario. It doesn't have to be your story, but I thought I should throw that out there. Now, it looks like with regard to this person's career or work, they may have to travel for work. Or may have had to travel for work. We actually do have the military card come out here, so I should mention, for some of you, you may be marrying a military person, someone who's in the military, or maybe was in the military before you met them, and maybe that's why the work involved travel, even if it doesn't by the time you meet them. And actually, even with this card here, this person seems to be wearing some kind of uniform. So that is interesting. But yeah, I think that, yeah, it may not be that they are still in military service by the time you get together, though they might be. It could, though, be a clue for you. And so, yeah, this here is speaking to someone who maybe has had to change careers, change their livelihood, and so there may be this energy with this person of being kind of up in the air, which again is something I think it came through in a previous reading. But anyway, there's the sense here that the person may not be fully embracing the change, shall we say. This person may still be not sure of what exactly to focus on and put their efforts into, even though, as I said at the beginning of the reading, this is someone who is very capable of making a lot of money. So whatever it is that they determine to do, they could certainly be very successful. In fact, I think whatever they decide to do, that's kind of their destiny. Their destiny is to be very materially successful. Now, I don't know if it'll come up as any kind of issue between the two of you, but it could be that, I'm not sure, maybe for some of you here, this person secretly wants children, or has lost a child, which is very sad if that is the case, or is somehow separated from a child. Maybe you will be confused about their interest in a formalized marriage because of all the up in the air energy we've got here, or because of the situation with the child, or the situation with wanting children versus not. It may be that this person doesn't talk about wanting children, or maybe it's not so apparent necessarily that there's an issue with a child. Interesting. But this is someone, though, I have to say, who seems to kind of expect life to be difficult. And so they're always thinking about how, well, I was talking about how this person may not be dealing well with the change in their life. They may be resistant to change, but because life is changing, life is in flux, things are up in the air, they're focused on that. They kind of have to be focused on it. And it makes them maybe not very, not terribly optimistic about being able to really fulfill their hopes and dreams. And that is quite strange, because I keep talking about, I keep coming back to this person being an earner, being someone who's likely to, whatever they do, they're going to be an earner. But maybe that doesn't make them happy. I keep getting drawn to the card over here, the endings, which like has a coffin on it. I don't know that this person deals well with endings, because endings are, related to change. And yet, as I said, I think they expect things to be difficult, hard. They expect endings. Maybe that's one reason why we're going to get into this shortly. Maybe one reason why they choose to commit to you in a formalized marriage. Maybe they don't want so much upheaval, at least not in their relationship with you. Okay, so I think we're going to move to this final portion here. Hope I'm not shortchanging you with the reading. But for option 4, why will this person who is their future spouse or committed partner choose to commit to option 4? Why will they be choosing it? We have defensiveness, and we have loss. Okay, well, I think it's a similar message we've been getting everywhere. Like in all the readings so far, all the options. In short, they don't want to lose you. So they will commit to you so that you don't go away, so that you don't become a part of this change pattern in this person's life. At the bottom of the deck, we have drought. So yeah, I think they don't want to see things die on the vine with you. They may sense that somehow you are not necessarily going to always be there, and just kind of accepting a non-commitment, or in this particular case for most of you, I think this non-formalized commitment, non-marital, this non-legally recognized type of union. So they decide to make that ultimate commitment to you. Yes, they do not want to lose you. Like I said, they've already got enough things to deal with regard to unwanted change and loss, endings, and difficulties. So no, they do not want to lose you as well. It's interesting to me with this card that we have defensiveness, and it shows kind of like this person holding a weapon, standing on top of a tower that has these cannons here on either side. So this is showing some kind of war type situation, which brings me back to the military card we talked about before. And by the way, this person could be from a military family if somehow they're not actually in the military or never actually served themselves. Though I got more of the sense that they did or that they are. So, yeah, it'll differ for different people watching. Okay, option 4. This is your future spouse or committed partner. If you enjoyed this reading or found it useful in any way, please subscribe or give this video a thumbs up, or both. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to move on to the next option now. Hello there, option 5, last but not least. If you chose this card, Ceremony, this will be your reading. Now I am going to shuffle all the cards, or most of them, lay most of them down before I get started with the speaking portion of this reading. So if you don't want to see the shuffling, go back to the description box and you'll find a link taking you directly to the reading portion of this reading. Of course, feel free to stay and watch me shuffle too. Hello there, option 5, or I should say welcome back, option 5, if you saw the other portion of this option. We are going to be looking at your future spouse or committed partner in this reading. Before I get started, let me name these cards. We have the Ship, the Gift, the Merchant, Fortune, Love, the Lover, the Female Lover, Messenger, what is this? Faithfulness, Expectation, Money, the Delirious Ones. I know that's probably not quite right, but we'll go with that translation. The Baby, and the Female Servant. Okay, so one important thing to know about your future spouse, option 5, is that this person may actually be from another place. They may be from another country or another region of your country that makes them different than the people around you, than, maybe what most people would expect for you when it comes to a committed relationship. Somehow this person is, quote unquote, a foreigner. They may not be literally, but figuratively a foreigner because of this difference. And if somehow this is not a geographical difference, though it could be, as well as what I'm about to say, it could be that this person is of a different cultural background. They are from, they were raised in a different religion, or they're of a different ethnicity or race, from a different socioeconomic background. You get the idea. Different demographic. Okay, so I'm thinking here that you may be surprised, but also delighted to hear that. So, if that's good news to you, stay tuned. I'm seeing this person here is a caring person, a romantic person, someone who values their partner. Someone who will value you. They may put you on something of a pedestal and be even what you might call fanatical about you. They may be your biggest fan, your loudest cheerleader. I mean, this person is going to be like, and some of you may not get this reference, but back in I don't know if it was the early 2000s or the 2000s or the 90s maybe, when Tom Cruise, the actor, was on the Oprah Winfrey talk show, and he was talking about his new love, Katie Holmes, I think that's who it was. Anyway, he got so excited that he jumped up on the couch with both feet as he exclaimed how fantastic and wonderful and beautiful and amazing Katie was, and how incredibly happy he was to have her. Spoiler alert, that relationship is no longer. However, at the time, he was really, really, I guess people would say, over the top about this person, over the moon. And so I'm getting that energy here about your person and how they will feel about you. Option 5. So this is great. This is so far so good, right? It's good that someone likes you that much, loves you, cares for you, and wants to sing your praises to any and everyone who will listen. So let's see what else. Okay, so career-wise, this person may be in business for themselves. They may be entrepreneurial minded. If they somehow work for someone else, they're either going to have like some kind of thing on the side where they get to be the boss of that thing. Maybe a side hustle and like goals regarding that side hustle. Not something that they're doing casually, but something they're doing with intention. And or at work as an employee, they may still be some kind of leader. They might be in charge, some kind of manager, something like that. Okay, and it looks like the money, may be good. So that's great. The career may also have something to do with something international. I don't know if they're involved in business, wherein they are having dealings with people who are far away. If, for example, they're doing some kind of internet-based side hustle, they may have customers and or clients from around the world. Or again, if this person's from a different part of the world than you are, they may have some dealings with the people from where they came from. with regard to their career or business. So this person is highly communicative, and they say what's important. Um, you don't have to worry about someone who doesn't respond in a timely manner if you send them a text or an email or anything. We already talked about how over the top they will be about you, and this extends to the communication. I mean, they will be happy and excited and delighted to write you back or just send you messages, probably like randomly. Um, one of those people who just loves to keep the lines of communication open. This person may have a pet, a dog in particular, but yeah, this person is very close to their animal companion if they have one, and I'm thinking for a lot of you there will be an animal companion here. So that's nice. I think that speaks to the type of person we're talking about. Um, Now, with regard to children, it looks like this person may think about that. It may be, something that's kind of in the back of their mind that they would want children with you, but there's some complication, and I'm not sure what it is. It will probably be different for different people here. It may be that they are not able to have children, or you are not able to have children. Um, but that doesn't, create some kind of huge insurmountable problem here. But it is worth noting, since we do have a message about children coming through here. Let me see. It's possible that you encounter this person in the work realm. You meet them while they are working, or you both are working somewhere and meet each other that way, somehow through work, potentially. That won't be for all of you, but for some of you. Okay, so this is someone who is probably the type of person who lets life carry them where they will. Is not to say that, because we talked about how they're purposeful with their business or side hustle or whatever the case of their career. But they also here have this attitude of, whatever will be, and they'll roll with the punches, so to speak. Unlike maybe in a previous option, this person is looking pretty comfortable with change and might even welcome it. It keeps things interesting, I suppose. And yeah, I think I mention that this person is romantic. Um, uh, they're someone who will run to meet you, if you are approaching. Like literally run. This person is very excited about you, option 5. And that, of course, is quite lovely, really. I do wonder, though, considering all of that, like how they will show up when I ask my final question. But before I move on to that, let me make sure there's nothing else here I want to mention. Uh, yeah, this is a caring person, and I think they want to be able to help others. That's not coming through in a very, very, very loud way in this spread here, but yeah, I think they are someone who is concerned about others. Again, unlike other piles, I feel like this is someone who is more maybe outgoing or gregarious or comfortable with interacting with people. In fact, they may have quite a few friends and acquaintances that they like to go and do things with, hang with, just so you know. Because it looks like they might be prominent here. Okay, so I think I'm going to move on now. Now let's look at why this person will choose to commit to you, option 5. So why will this person, who's the future spouse or committed partner of option 5, choose to commit to option 5? We have luck. We also have specialness. Okay, let me see what's on the bottom of the deck here. We have pain. Oh, yeah, I wasn't expecting this because this has been a fairly bright, I mean, as far as the energy is concerned, light and bright type of reading here for you, option 5. But this person will choose to commit to you because they themselves are also surprised at this connection and how wonderful it is and how excited they are about you, and yeah, how special this connection is and how special you are. And they consider themselves to be, I guess, somehow special as well. And so it's a matter of like having found someone else, you know, like that needle in a haystack. How am I going to find someone who's ticking off all these boxes, and yet, wow, by some amazing stroke of luck, there they are. And so your person decides to, commit because you're totally awesome. Now with the pain, I wonder if this is representing something from this person's past that they've had maybe some rough times in the relationship realm, and you are helping them to move on from that pain, because I don't think that you're inflicting any pain on them. I mean, they may find it painful to be apart from you for long, or to not communicate with you for long. Parting is such sweet sorrow comes to mind. That quote from Shakespeare. Was it Romeo and Juliet? Which is interesting that came up because, you know, that is actually a story of star-crossed lovers, but I don't think that's what's going on here. You two are lucky. This person feels lucky to have met you or encountered you, option 5. Okay, so I'm going to end your reading here. If you enjoyed this reading or found it helpful, useful, entertaining, informative in any way, please consider subscribing to the channel and or liking this video. It would help me and the channel out so much with the algorithm. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, and I hope there will be a next time, goodbye.